And there we go. And yeah, hi everybody. I think I know most of you, but we don't know each other. I'm sure we will during this cozy session. The second of 3 demo sessions on the second day, so 5th in total of the 6. So my name is Teemu. I lead the MyData global team. And yeah, every year people ask, always want to see what are the practical cases, you know, MyData principles, that's nice. The MyData declaration, that's nice. We believe in it. The data economy and the regulations, we believe in that. What are the kind of practical things that people are really doing? And for that reason, this is a great session, of course, to show, don't tell about what different organizations are doing, and often quite different types of things. And that really is one of the goals also of MyData Global right now in our strategy, to make sure that we help the digital services companies in practical advances towards the MyData vision, help demonstrate cases, and then connect and build knowledge in companies and organizations. So we have, as discussed, 3 demos here. So each of them will take about 10 minutes or so, give or take a few, and then we have a chance for some discussion. And it's great if we can get a lively interaction going. So about 15 and 15 minutes total. It's not, we're not pressed for time, but let's also respect others' time and not take too long. Does that sound like a plan? Great. And then we are ready to go. And yeah, let's first start off with PPP in action. So with the Finnish Tax and Company MyData experiment. And I think you can introduce yourself. I don't need to make any fancy introductions reading your CVs. Rather, you can tell us what you are up to, Jonathan.
Yes, thank you, Teemu. Good evening or good day, wherever you are. My name is Jonathan Henriksson. I work for a cybersecurity company called Nixu, a Finnish-based company, but working in the international space of cybersecurity. I'm going to tell you a bit about the Finnish Tax Administration's pilot about company MyData, not just the personal MyData, but also looking at how we can actually help build better business services with the MyData principles and technologies involved. Tax Finland has been really active on promoting Finland as a business ecosystem abroad. And they had this marvelous campaign, which I wanted to highlight here. So a good friend gives you relationship advice, a true friend gives you taxation advice. So Tax Finland wants to be your first true friend in Europe. And they actually went even to Shanghai to get companies to switch their taxation to Finland and build their company as a bridgehead to Europe in Finland. And if we look how digitalization is boosting economy, and we believe also that when Finland can capitalize the digitalization and build an efficient operational environment, not only for local companies to grow faster, but also for foreign companies to invest and build their businesses here, we ensure also the future tax income for Finland and ensure the future well-being as well as the happiest nation on the planet. And how we actually are building that into reality is by building the foundations for the digital trust in our society. So looking these cases where we attract new talent, students, workforce, or businesses in the tax administration's case, we need first the components to build the digital trust infrastructure to make all this work seamlessly together and build the best customer experience for the foreigners coming into Finland. At the moment, we are starting to build the customer experience on top of different systems that we have in place at the moment for businesses. We have multitude of e-services already in place, but they don't present a coherent or like the user experience you would actually want to see as a foreigner, to have seamless business services opened for you automatically and not have to tackle all the different government institution services and then the private sector, financial banking, and whatever services your company needs in Finland in different silos. So we want to build simplified, easy to use, compelling user experience. And that is what we tested here with the tax administration's MyData pilot. So what we actually concretely achieved was a proof of concept where the digital trust is based on the individual's digital identity. So on the left-hand side, the company representative from abroad can create themselves digital identity that they can act with in Finland with the digital services. And for that digital identity, we also provided an authentication mechanism that is reliable and that can be used to give consent to actually share data across the different service silos. So with this proof of concept, we had the MyBiz service portal that provides the company with all the basic functionalities that they need when starting a company in Finland. And that also includes sharing the data to different service organizations, whether it's the bank for opening a bank account or to an accountant to take care of their financial reporting or whatever services there might be a need for that business. We built this on top of the Citra iHand testbed, which is a European data sharing ecosystem where you can actually build and test out your business cases quite fast. We have in place the digital identity and authentication piece with Sisu ID, and then there is also a product gateway, data productizers that actually provide the functionality to create standardized data products that you can share across the ecosystem. And they can also then interpret, for example, if you have a private data source or an API where you need permission from the user before you can actually share the data, the productizer can interpret the consent given by the user using the authentication piece into an authorization to release the data to the use of the actual services. So you might build up the data ecosystem combining from public open APIs, like in this pilot we have had the trade registry company API, we had the tax information API, and then a private API holding a bit different kind of data. And those were combined into single company data products. And then with the user's consent, they were received by the accountant that is serving the end customer, the company. Now I'll switch into the demo. So it's a video in this instance. So the flow starts from identifying yourself remotely. So we can enroll the users using the SISU ID mobile application. So we verify some contact details about the user, for example, the phone number in this case, and then they can verify their identity, for example, scanning their passport. And we are using facial biometric matching with the passport data that is actually read from the NFC from the passport chip. And when we have identified the user using these means, we create the digital identity for the user and activate the mobile app as an authenticator that can then be used to log on the different company services, for example, to register the company in Finland, but also then can be used to share the data across different services. So in this view, we have the company UI, and James here is the founder of these two companies. And now James can actually share the data, which is only privately held. For example, the shareholder registry to the accountant company. So here on the right-hand side, we have the accountant company's view, and then we have the MyBiz view here on the left. And James here can actually select directly the person or the organization that they want to share the list of shareholders with. And now when James clicked share here, the accountant view gets updated and the ownership data is visible here. So in the diagram, what happened is that the user James here authenticated and gave consent to release the shareholder data as a data product to the accountant view. And then this is a data stream authorization, which can be also revoked. So now James can go over and also revoke the access to that data. And when the shareholder list is queried again, the accountant company does not anymore have the access to that data. So it's easy enough for the company user to share both public and private data, give consent, and also to revoke the consent when the services or contracts are ended. And of course, you can build different kind of business logic around this, but it's always the person who is acting on behalf of the company that can control the data and the decisions of data transfers or access to the data streams. So that's in a nutshell what we did. The ihan.fi can tell you more about the data economy testbed and how you can actually build your own business solutions on top of that. So it's hosted by Sitra, the Finnish Innovation Fund. Sitra also has their own booth here at the MyData online conference, so make sure you check out their booth as well. So that was all from my part. I'm now open for questions if there are any. Thank you.
Thanks, Jonathan, for that clear presentation. What kind of questions do we have for Jonathan? Johannes, you've got your mic open. Do you have something you want to ask?
Yes, so I am an entrepreneur, and so I'm sitting right in the middle of your use case that you presented. Although I'm in California, not in Finland, but I sort of understand how this works. If you asked your customers, such as entrepreneurs, which problem did this solve for them, and how big was this problem, and why they're really, really happy that this exists, what would they say?
So at the moment, the problem is that you can't actually start a company from abroad in Finland, because when getting the tax customership or the trade registry or your company registered, you need to be present in Finland at some point to actually prove your identity and
yep.
Show all those documents. So we are digitalizing that, and with the help of the digital trust bit, when you can identify yourself reliably enough, we could let's not say automate, but improve and make the whole process digital, where you could actually establish the company from abroad as well.
Okay, so then the actual use case is it enables you to do something that you couldn't do before, which is to establish a company in the country without being physically present. Okay, I understand that use case. Okay.
Yes, and then you can also share the data, so we can actually improve the customer experience further by not having you to submit all the data in different silos, but just submit your company information once, and all the services can share that with your consent.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks.
Okay, who's next? What kind of thoughts from any from the co-presenters from ESATUS and from Swash? Okay, no questions. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I was talking on the other mute. Yeah, I think it's a very elegant solution. So thanks for demonstrating. Yeah, I'm looking forward to see what your next steps are. I've just thought if this ties in somehow to the MyData Commons work, it kind of reminded me of the platform, Teemu. You know what I mean?
You mean the MyData for pandemics?
No, the MyData Commons, the data management platform where you can basically direct data flows and have some kind of a control center.
Yeah, I think if you're referring to what especially
Ian Henderson and the guys.
Ian, yeah, maybe you should have a discussion. I mean, I don't think this has related at all, but potentially there may be room for collaboration there.
Just had the thought.
David is there.
Yeah, hi. I just joined in the middle of the presentation. I guess when it was the slide number 8, but then yeah, possible. I don't know. Guessing. Speak about the common data common model where you can share easily the information towards third parties. Guessing. I mean, sorry, I was in the middle of I joined in the middle of the conversation, so I don't know. But yeah, happy to answer or to go through again later, and then it's possible at the end, because what we're trying to implement is a common model where you share basic information using well-defined semantics, and then this can be transferred across different MyData operators, and then share with people, entities that need to have access to our services, to our data. I don't know if that's the same with Nixon.
Exactly. Yeah, that's what I meant.
At this point, we can collaborate.
Yeah, I have to look that common data model up.
Great. And Jonathan, you had the tax office here, and they are indeed quite innovative, and also innovative in their communications, as we saw. So what's up with the case? I mean, it was, as far as I understood, it was kind of a pilot, or is it something that's in production and they want to use this this kind of further in their work?
This was just a pilot at this phase where we also looked at regulation, how we can actually share the data with the Finnish current regulation. So there are already planned next steps to actually get this infrastructure in place in Finland, and hopefully that will happen sometime soon with the help of public and private sector as the partnerships advance.
All right, thanks. Thanks for that, Jonathan. And yeah, on we go to the next one. So let's hear and see next from Christopher Hempel from ESATUS what ESATUS has been doing. So it's the self and ESATUS wallet. Go ahead, yeah. Christopher. And if Jonathan, you can stop sharing your screen.
Yep.
So I will start screen sharing in a second. That should be the screen. So on the left-hand side, you should see a architecture diagram of self, and I will explain what self is doing very quickly. I will not explain what SSI exactly is. If you want to know anything about SSI, 3 p.m. Central, I think, Central European time, or UTC time. And self is a solution to build a bridge between legacy applications existing in business environments and the SSI world, so that you can connect the SSI credentials to your legacy applications in your company. So what I will show you today is a demo how you can connect your application and how you can issue a credential and then log into your application using this credential. So I will start with our self UI. You can see on the left-hand side. So we have 9 applications already connected. We have a lot of credentials issued. We have a lot of identities created, and we have some rules here. And I will start with the applications. So you can see here are some of the 9 applications, and I will go into the Jira system here, which we will use for this demo. And you can see that there's a standard SAML configuration added, and a SAML certificate is added too. And there's also the OIDC configuration, but for this demo we are using the SAML. And on the bottom you can see that there are some authorization sources as well. So you can see say that you will use SAML as well, or OpenID Connect, or you will synchronize into an LDAP system or an Active Directory, and also an Azure Active Directory. So, that's for the applications. And then we have entitlements. Entitlements are a 2-dimensional object, which will then result in the object you need for your synchronization source. For example, an LDAP security group membership, or a SAML assertion, or an OpenID Connect claim. So we'll have a look at the Jira auth component here, which will authorize for the component. And we see it's for the application SSI Jira. And we have an additional, or many additional objects here, and we will have a look at the Jira sales, which will not authenticate, but authorize inside the application. So you will get additional rights in the Jira system. To get these entitlements, you have to fulfill some rules. And I will show you the auth rule and the sales rule, which we will then have inside the Jira system. So starting with the auth rule, we will go inside and have a look what's configured. So you have to get these entitlements, you have to show these attributes from a specific credential definition. Credential definition is a SSI-specific topic. I will show some of this later. So we have to provide any user ID, we have to provide a location from Lang or Hamburg, and we have to provide our employer, which in this case must be Sutasa AG. When I provide these attributes, I will get the Jira auth entitlement. And we will have a quick look at the sales. And there you see we have to provide the position sales manager as well. I will go through these schemas, credential definitions very quick. So these are just the objects for the SSI world. We're using Hyperledger Indy in special software in here. And you can create any schema which will provide you with some attributes you can add to the credential. And the credential definition is a specific implementation of the schema which only you can use for issuing credentials. So what we built upon this is our credential templates, just to make it easier to issue some credentials. So I will start creating a new identity just for this demo. And I will start here. We will give it a user ID MyData and add the date of the day. And I will add an email address which I can receive right now. And now I will receive an email with a connection invitation to establish a connection between the wallet app you see on the right-hand side and our self backend system. So we have to wait for the email. It's already there. So you can see there's a QR code inside, and you can also open it with some deep links at the bottom. So I will start scanning the QR code. And then you can see that our demo agent wants to connect with our wallet app, which we will accept now. Now this connection is established. I will sort here by date that we have the news at the top. And you can see we are connected. So now I will start issuing a credential which will fulfill the rules set for the Jira application, that we can go into the Jira application. So I will offer a new credential. I will select the identity I just created, and I will use a template, and this must be the employee ID. We will set the location to Lang, the employer to Sutasa AG, and we will also select the position sales manager to fulfill the sales rule. And now I will create it, and on the right hand side we should see in a second that we received a new credential. We can view the offer and see that all data I entered here are shown on my phone as well. I will accept it. And this, what you see now, are some comfort features we added to the app. So you can set that you always want to accept any credential from this connection. We will set to never ask again, and now you see it's successfully stored. And you see all attributes. So you can see that it's now in the state of offered. If I do a refresh of the page, you can see it's issued. So now I can use, or now I will use this credential to get access to Jira. Just scan a QR code again, and you see we received a new request. I will open this request, and you see that these attributes are requested. You see, for example, the location and the employer, and also my user ID. No more attributes are requested at this moment. So it's successfully sent, And in the Jira system, you see we already got the Jira auth entitlement, and we can ask for additional rules or access attributes for the Jira system. So for example, Jira sales, which will match with the attributes we just issued. So we will request this, but I will show you what's on the wallet app side on the right-hand side of the screen. So there's also a comfort feature for sending proof requests. You can set this to auto accept, and all proofs you receive from this connection will automatically be answered. So we will also say like never ask again for this case. So I will now request additional attributes required for the Jira sales rule. And you see we have received a new request, which we have here now, and we are asking for the attributes now. I will send them. And you see we're automatically logged in into the Jira system. We should see the login screen for the MyData user, which has created. And we will do the login steps for first time login. And now have a look at the profile to see if we received both groups in the Jira system. And as you can see, we have the Jira Auth Rule and the Jira Sales Rule. Okay, so that's basically everything you have to do. You have to connect your application via SAML or OpenID Connect or any other legacy connection. And then you can start using SSI for your legacy applications. So I'm up for any question, and thank you so far.
Thank you, Christopher. This is Andre. We're from the same company. So this is basically showing how to build the bridge between your classic identity and access protocols, which your applications talk today, and the new world of SSI and verifiable credentials. And everything that you have seen is obviously back-end stuff, which the end user just sees on the wallet app side. So this is administrative integration work for enabling your applications. So the backend actually works as an identity provider, like a channel, like a bridge for the verifiable credentials. And you formulate these rule sets, which you have to prove with via the attributes from the credentials, so that you get access. So the end all this stuff that you see here is only done once in the beginning. So the end user has the credentials and then can use them multiple times again and again, and he can set the comfort features. So he basically just scans the QR code and is logged in, and he will not see anything else. So, so this is kind of the logic behind it, and it has two components. The backend side, this is the solution called Self, which comes with the wallet app on the iOS or Android side for the end user to interact with the system. And this has, in fact, in the first run, obtained MyData operator status. So we are very, very proud of this, and this is all absolutely GDPR compliant, as the user is in full control of the data and is holding the data her or himself.
Excellent. Thanks. Thanks for also about those pieces of information. And yeah, great to have you as one of the 27 operators now. Any questions to Christopher or Andre? Jonathan, you've got your hand up. You are being polite. Go ahead.
Yeah, thank you. That was proper identity and access management porn. Really, really nice. You said that you're operating on Indie Ledger. So are you operating in some public ledger, or do you have your own?
Yeah, I think Christopher mentioned it briefly. We are operating on Sovereign. So sorry, but obviously we can use any Indie network, and we are obviously also part of the German initiative called ID Union. So there's a new test ledger out there which we fully support. We support all the sovereign other ledgers, and we support the BC-Gov ledger. So it's basically everything that Christopher, you can show it in the system.
Yeah. You can see you can add any Indie ledger to the wallet app, and also self just to use it. For this demo, we're using our own test ledger, which is a Dockerized test ledger with 4 nodes. But you can basically use any indie-based ledger, which is ARIES compliant or more indie compliant in this case.
Thank you. Do you provide any of that wallet code or software as open source?
That's a very good question. So the wallet app is in fact free for download, so everyone can download it in the app stores. We are currently considering to open source some of the components of the whole stuff that you have seen, but we are not decided yet. Obviously, this is one of this is our business model. We want to sell and license the product. We're not so much interested in the wallet app side. We're more interested in the backend side, because I think this is a great value add for any company and organization who has this identity and access challenge, which is basically everyone. And we are coming from that space and want to sell the product. And we are going live with a couple of deployments now, so you will also see this in real world action. Yeah.
Thank you. Could you post your email address somewhere, or can
Yeah,
I
sure, you
see
can.
it on the go?
You see it. I post my email address here in the chat.
Yeah, I could connect.
And
if you want to use the wallet app, you can do it on wallet-demo.esatus.com. So there's a short
that's a
demo
good point. Yeah.
where you can test the wallet app. It will guide you through establishing connection, getting or receiving a credential, and also answering a proof.
Yeah, that's the wallet demo, and we did also something.
A Corona demo.
The Corona demo, corona.esatus.com. We did this conjunction with the COVID credentials initiative, and you can try it out on your own. So we have and we will also soon, and we are working on this now. I think in the first quarter we'll be ready, that you can basically get your own instance of a self deployment for yourself and order it via the website. And we have a very interesting, I think, an attractive pricing model for small organizations to just try it out and get it working and get the first feeling for it.
All right, we took a bit of time for that, but it's very good that you see some opportunities there, Jonathan and Andre and Christopher, perhaps for collaboration. I think
Absolutely.
for time, I think we move forward. Thanks indeed for that.
Thanks for having us.
So then the third one, Chloe Diamond, and talking about SWOSH, so about monetizing surfing data with a browser extension. Something a little bit different. And Chloe, yeah, please, if you can take the screen and lead us through.
Thank you. Yeah, I'll just share my screen, just a second. So you should be looking at the SWOSH website now. As you mentioned, well, first, thank you everyone for joining me today. I realize it's late on a Friday for many of us, so I appreciate if you're still here and giving us an audience to talk to. So yeah, SWOSH is a browser extension that allows people to monetize their data. So what I'm going to show you today, I'm basically going to walk you through how you would install SWOSH, and then a little bit about what you'll find when you're actually in the extension. If you want to kind of find out more about SWOSH, I'm always happy to answer any questions. And also you can always just check on the website too. We've got loads of information. Also on social media and things, we're quite active there too. But I will tell you a bit about the problem we're fixing. So by what we're doing is basically users are able to monetize their data, because currently users don't receive anything for the value that they can earn online, for the value of their data. And this value is sort of disputed. It does depend where you read, but basically if we're looking at the FANG companies alone, so including Facebook, Amazon, Apple, Netflix, and Google, they earn an estimated $1,000 per user per year. And then on top of that, data is collected without the knowledge and consent of individuals. On the other hand, you also have the data buyers. So that can include the likes of advertisers, brands, AI companies, and so on. They need data to make informed decisions in their business. But then with the likes of third-party cookies set to be restricted, general lack of access to data due to data silos, and then also things like just wasted resources on bad quality data, they're also in need of alternatives in a way that's actually sustainable and win-win for everyone. So Swash is sort of this like human-centric option where we give 70% of the profits back to the user. So I'm just going to walk you through how that would look. So at the moment we're on the website, you'd click Get Swash. Hopefully it's not lagging too badly. My internet will probably be quite slow now. And it will basically take you to your default browser. Mine's gone to Chrome Web Store because I'm on Google Chrome, but we're also on Microsoft Edge, Brave, Firefox, Yandex, and so on. Like we're on major browsers and always adding more. So from the whichever extension store you're in, you'll just click Add to Chrome, Add extension, give it a minute then to load. At the moment it's asking me if I want to synchronize, but that's because this is for the demo. So then it basically go through an installation process. Click Get Started. At this stage, we can either import an existing wallet. So this is a crypto wallet. I should add the payments that users receive are in Datacoin, which is Streamer's native currency. So Streamer, they've been in a few different panels here as well. Swash is actually the first use case of a digital data union and is built on Streamer's technology. So just to add that one in. So I'm going to just click Create a New Wallet. So creating a new crypto wallet. We have the option here to read the privacy policy, which, to be honest, I always recommend people do, just because we do outline the specific data that we capture. I should also add that Swash doesn't collect anything sensitive, but it's also interesting to know what kind of data would be valuable to people. So, for example, I think like a lot of people I've been talking to don't realize that, for example, when you're on Amazon, when you search for something or when you add something to your wish list or into your basket, like those particular data points are actually valuable for data buyers. So, I mean, even just in terms of general awareness around how the data economy is working, I think reading the privacy policy is a must. I'm not going to do it now because time is of the essence. So just press proceed. Here is a small note to say, because it's related to blockchain, that when you need to keep in charge of your keys, read and agree. And then at this stage, we basically are asking for some generic information. So gender, I'll just put anything for now, gender, age, and household income. This is due to research we had conducted earlier in the year by an industry expert who said, like, on the data buyer side, you actually have less fragmentation in the data set. So that's, yeah, I won't go into that much detail now. Create the wallet and should load for a second. I have a small captcha here. And we should be taken straight into the extension. So before we do anything else, what I would normally recommend people do is go into the corner, pin Swash to the browser page, and then just click on here and make sure it's switched on. Should automatically be, but good to check. This small pop-up will basically tell you how much you're earning in Datacoin and a few quick buttons to get to different parts of the extension. When you're in the extension, you'll see we're automatically taken to the settings page, where you can see you have a referral here. You can share a referral link with others, and also the option to back up your wallet settings, which I recommend doing especially if you were to go and use Swash on other devices or other browsers. We also have the wallet here, which I think everyone is most interested in. Obviously, this has just been installed, so we haven't earned anything yet. I'm not sure I have time to go and add some extra data points to start, but basically when you start surfing the web, what you earn will be listed here, and then, as I mentioned just now, any referrals will also, the referral bonus will be here as well. Then you have your wallets and the option to withdraw your earnings. Another feature which is quite interesting is the Your Data section. Basically here, so what happens is the data is captured, pooled, and then uploaded to the marketplace, the Streamer marketplace. So the data then is, before it gets uploaded, you can choose how long you want to browse what's being collected before it then gets added to the blockchain. That's up to you, you can choose. I personally never really look at this because it doesn't bother me, but it's a kind of nice to have feature anyway. And then yes, you just have the help section with some more information about how it's all working, and yeah, and that's, I mean, that's for a demo. It's already up and running. That would be all you need to do for Swash to start. It's designed to be unobtrusive because it's just working in the background while you're doing other things. Like I said, you can always check this small pop-up just to see how much you're earning. And you pretty much start earning straight away. So that's, yeah, that's pretty much it in a nutshell. And with that, you're basically, when you, like our overall vision is for users to be more, to have more control and agency over their self, like the data that they generate. And with that, I think there's the sort of education around the data economy, but also giving people the opportunity to then put the value they've created to good use. So soon, later on down the line, we intend to add automatic donations to social goods organizations and some other features as well. So yeah, that's Swash. Like I mentioned, if you have any questions or comments, I'm really keen to hear. If you use Swash already, then I'd be glad to hear your feedback as well. I tried to keep it very short and sweet because, I mean, Swash is designed to be really simple to use. And yeah, that's everything. Thank you so much for listening.
Great, thanks. Thanks for that. How many people are using Swash at the moment? What can you tell us about that?
Yeah, so we have about 4,700 users at the moment, which is fortunately going up all the time, which is always nice. It's been growing quite rapidly over the, like, at least 10% each month. So yeah, it's going well. We get good feedback and very active community, which I think is pretty much the best part of the process.
Okay, and I see some mics opening. So David, you've got a question.
Thanks for the explanation. It make me curious, and then actually I'm installing right now. Just two questions, because for digital currency, honestly, I start to play around really recently, more seriously. Because you mentioned I can connect any digital wallet, basically. So could be anyone, Coinbase or whatsoever. I just need to provide the address at this point.
That's not a feature we have at the moment because the currency is earned in data, but we are designing Swash as we're developing to be interoperable. Okay. So that might be something more that I can take to the CTO, but yeah,
So basically, because I'm a new person, I need to create a new Swash wallet, basically. Mm-hmm. Okay, separate, okay. So then there is no a way to exchange data coin with whatever Ethereum or Bitcoin or something like that, or just need to cash it out?
Yeah. So when you go to withdraw, you can withdraw then to your Ethereum address here.
Okay.
And then, yeah, from there you can
go. Okay, done. No, thanks. I find it is interesting because I believe somehow in the way that if someone using my data, why I can get something back straight away. Is sort of other philosophy I believe in, and this, yeah, it's pretty good. And then I agree with you about people start to learn about digital economy. How does it work?
Thank you for your
Thanks.
question as well.
Okay, Andre,
Yeah.
raising up your hand.
Yeah, thank you for the opportunity. I'm a bit curious. You also have the plugin available for the Brave browser, right? As far as I know, and I'm not the expert here, in the Brave browser you have an opportunity to collect Brave rewards. Is that not somehow in competition then? This is point one of my question, and the other point is and maybe a bit old school, but this reminds me of the early days of the internet when you could install some kind of software which presented ads to you on your desktop, and you earned real money with that, so that people were basically getting to some kind of interesting ideas how to trick the system. Have you thought about how your system can be tricked as well?
Okay, so I'll start with the Brave question. So like I mentioned, that we are compatible with Brave. So actually, when people use Brave, they are they're monetizing attention for adverts, like you mentioned, and they can earn their BAT token. And at the same time, you can also earn data coin from Swash sort of simultaneously. So with Swash, something we have in the roadmap is to add an ads panel feature, which I suppose is more similar to Brave. But that's not the kind of main sort of main revenue model, if you like, of how Swash works now. So in this sense, it's not really competition. It works it's quite complementary to what Brave has. And then in terms of kind of like, I like that comparison actually with the sort of Web 1. It's, for me, that's much more fun than anything that happened in Web 2. But yeah, that is definitely something we're thinking about. And even the feature like adding the patcher to reduce bots, that was something which was part of that process as well. And we have kind of other things we'll be adding in the near future as well to kind of it's sort of like an ongoing process as well, as I'm sure you're aware. But yeah, that's definitely something we're conscious about.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, anybody else? Sure, the whole monetization of personal data is the topic that you will find kind of debatable in the MyData community. I think you'll find the whole scale of views on that. Maybe everyone got it. Maybe I got a little bit lost. Like when I browse something. So what actually then happens as a user and in the background?
So as a user, you won't experience anything different.
Nothing, right? Yeah.
The only thing will be if you were to go into the extension, go into data, and you'll see the listed domains of what's been captured. And then you'll see that you earn more as well from the little pop-up window in the corner. But actually what's captured would be, it varies depending on domains. So I used the example of Amazon earlier. The sort of things that we would collect from Amazon would be the search results that are listed, when something's added to your wish lists, added to your baskets, and so on. I don't know how many pages you click through before you click on a result, for example. And obviously what you can what's interesting from Amazon or Facebook and other sites would vary depending on the sites. And the interesting thing with Swash as well is that because it's a browser extension, it kind of has this very sort of overall look at what's going on. So one thing to consider would be if you were buying a pair of trainers on Nike's websites, and you see that someone's gone all the way through to add something to their basket, but they haven't actually purchased anything, they've just disappeared. Swash would then see that that person's then gone over to Adidas and actually bought their trainers there. Whereas at the moment, it would be limited to Nike will see what's happened up to a certain point, and Adidas sees to a certain point, but actually making the connection in between is difficult. So Swash sort of has that overall, so I guess like quite intimate view of what's happening. But yeah, I do understand that there is that controversy with data monetization, but I think a lot of it comes from, I think we had actually research conducted earlier in the year as well, where the main things people came back with were wanting to earn money for nothing, what they consider nothing. It's not really free money when you think about it. But then the other thing being to have control over their sort of digital identity, which I think is a big theme, obviously, in the MyData conference as well. And then after that, you have things like people being annoyed about, for example, how Facebook is treating things. So that's like almost another discussion.
Sure. And you're building it on top of Streamer, and Streamer indeed then, for example, has, well, like you said, are in a couple of sessions, including tomorrow and Saturday, talking about how to create these data unions. I see something on the Slack. Jan, at least you had a question, and anybody else? So Jan was asking about how do you handle privacy issues with the data collected. Jan, do you want to elaborate on that? Or Chloe?
Hello?
Yep.
Hi.
Hi, I can elaborate. I saw that you mentioned the search and some of maybe the URLs you use. If you're collecting that data and then making it available, I was just thinking of the commercial the implications. Maybe I misunderstood what might be collected.
Yeah, so do you mean like what kind of, like where the privacy would be from the user's point of view when the data is then sold? Is that what you mean?
I didn't know exactly how the data is maybe used. I just heard like what you might add in the browser. I'm not sure if it was a search or which pages you look at. Are you collecting data and?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so basically it would depend, I mean, how the data would be used then would depend on the data buyer, like that would depend on their business. But from Swash's point of view, the data is captured, pooled, and then added to the Streamer marketplace, which would be then when data buyers can pay to access that data. And then those profits are redistributed back to the users within that data union.
But is it IP address, for example, which is considered a personal data being shared?
No, that's not. So it would be like, for example, if like on social media, maybe things that people have liked or how many retweets or something. Also on shopping domains, maybe what people are searching for. It does depend on the specific domains to then say which data points are then collected from them. There's a very long list in the privacy policy.
Okay, I would have to check then the privacy policy then to better understand. Thank you. That answers my question.
All right, we're getting into the end of the session. So at this stage, I'd like to thank all three of you presenters and thank everybody for the lively conversation. We'll share the recording and please do engage with us in the of course tomorrow and later today, still in the conference, but also on the MyData Slack. If you are not there yet, let me just type it there as well. And I see that that there was appreciation for the presentation. Yeah, thanks. Have a great evening and a great weekend as well, and hope to see you later today, and if not later today, then tomorrow for the Saturday, for the open space, and for the couple of plenaries that we still have for tomorrow. See you.
Bye.
Thank you, everyone. Bye.
Thanks. Bye.
Bye-bye.